everyone, welcome to another edition of Meta Tuesdays here in Arena Underground. And this week we are featuring the one and only Walkers on Fire, as I call it. Other people call it Jeskai Walkers or Jeskai SuperFriends. And yeah, this deck is very fun to play. We are playing best of one like we usually do in Meta Tuesdays. And this deck has been coming up the ranks in the last few weeks. I mean, basically, we have a ton of Planeswalkers in the Jeskai colors. Well, we have Narset, we have Teferi, of course, our favorite Time Raveler. We have Sarkhan. And then in the sideboard, we also have Chandra, we have Garruk, we have another copy of Sarkhan, and we have one copy of Ugin on the main deck. Now, you will think, why are we even looking at the sideboard? Well, this is the fun part of the deck. Of course, this deck runs around Fires of Invention. This is the card that brings everything together. So we'll play this on turn 4, and then we can play 2 cards each turn without paying the mana cost. Basically, as you see on the card here, we can play any spell with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands that we control. Alright? But there's also Fey Wishes. This card is so powerful. You get to go to your sideboard, pick a card, and then you can, you choose whatever you need in that moment, and you play it. So the cool thing about Fey Wishes in this deck is that we have Fires of Invention. So if we have a Fires of Invention on the field, on the same turn, not the same turn you play the card, but on the next turn after you play Fires of Invention, you can Fey Wishes for whatever you need from your sideboard, either a board wipe, either Command the Dread or Planar Cleansing, Casualties of Ward, and you get to play that card on the same turn as long as you have enough lands on the battlefield. But it's very, very powerful because basically you fetch from your sideboard whatever you need in that moment, either to win the game or just to get out of a bad situation. So, that said, the VIP of the deck, you could also kind of say it's Kenrith. I mean, this is the king, right? This guy comes down and it's just insane. It's insanely good. You'll see people sometimes just concede when you play this card. I mean, it's just that good of a card. But I feel like you guys already know. You have played against Jeskai SuperFriends probably before. If you haven't, this deck is very powerful, even without Fires of Invention. But now with Fires of Invention, it's very good. So you're going to see, I believe, about 5 games that we played. And sadly, I wanted to feature some games that were a little bit more of a battle between the deck and the other decks. But as we played, we didn't manage to get those games for you. I mean, basically, you'll see that once we get on certain turns that we already have the Fires of Invention and we play Sarkhan or we play Kenrith or we play Fey Wishes, people just concede because they know what's coming. Basically, you've already winning the game at that point. That said, it's still I think the deck gets great in best of one because people are not expecting you to play a sort of control type of deck in best of one. But we have the Definite Clarions in the Jeskai colors, and we have the Time Wipe, and it's just great against Mono Red or Rakdos or any sort of deck that has a lot of small creatures. And I'm gonna stop there, and let's go to the games, guys. I mean, yeah, you should see this deck. It's awesome. Let's do this. Okay, guys, we are playing Walkers on Fires, or Jeskai Fires SuperFriends, whichever you want to call it. Either way, we're playing best of one standard this week, and this hand is interesting. We have our Time Wipes, we have a Fey of Wishes. Not necessarily the best hand, but Time Wipe could be pretty good. We're gonna try this. See if we are against Mono Red or something along those lines, which is the usual here in best of one. It seems to be either a mirror or against Izzet Burn, right? So we do get a Definite Clarion, that's good. We'll go ahead and Temple of Epiphany here and scry. Fires is something that we like having, so we'll keep that. Alright, so let's see. I'm gonna quickly adjust the audio here. Sure. Should be good. Alright, we'll go with a tapped Sacred Foundry. So if we're playing Izzet, that means they might have some counters, otherwise they just have a lot of burn spells in hand. Now we're gonna leave our Fey of Wishes for later on. We don't really need to play this. So we'll continue the gameplay of the tap lands here. Next turn we can play our Fires of Invention if our opponent does not leave mana open for a counter. Now my feeling is they are waiting to counter our first card. So we'll go ahead and play this tab and pass the turn. I feel like I would rather them be in the first ones to do something. Okay, Sarkhan. So we are playing the mirror match here. That is fine. So what can we do here? Play the beacon. We can play Fires of Invention. And we could use Teferi. Let's see. Because if we play Sarkhan, they could kill our dragon and kill our Sarkhan, right? So, I think I'd rather play the Teferi, bounce the dragon, draw a card, and I don't mind them killing Teferi here. That's fine. Alright, so Chandra comes down. But we do have Fey Wishes, and we can kill those Planeswalkers afterwards. So this is going pretty well. Player tap land. We'll Fey Wish it. Now for 0, please. Alright, so we have 6 mana available, right? So yep, our opponent concedes. That's the power of Fey Wishes. Yeah, alright, good game, opponent. Okay, guys, we're playing Walkers on Fire, and this is a hand that I'll try. We need one more land to play something here, but that's fine. We don't really have a lot of turn 1, turn 2 plays, so keeping a hand like this is usually fine for us, as long as we draw that land. Of course, if Magic wants to play it differently for us, then there's nothing we could do. But alright, once upon a time, sure. So we're playing against the Bant ramp Golos. Okay, so we did not draw a land. We have another turn to do that, so we'll pass here. See what our opponent is up to. All right, we got our land. That's good. That's something we can do. So we'll play Teferi here. Draw a card. All right, we got our land for Fires of Invention next turn, and then should be pretty nice going from there. Although our opponent is playing some rather interesting lands here. Alright. First, play this plus Teferi. Play our Fires of Invention and play Narset. Alright. Drawn of Dreams should be the card we want. So playing Sarkhan next turn should be huge. We'll be able to get 8 damage in. Alright, opponent is ramping up. Okay. Alright, I like this. We'll take another Drawn from Dreams here. Plus Teferi. Play our Sarkhan. So they need to kill Sarkhan. Next turn, or they're likely dead. Alright, this is going pretty well for us. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and cast Kenrith and see if our opponent wants to continue playing this game. Alright, opponent. Is there anything else you can do to recover from this? They're looking at Kenrith. I guess they don't know how powerful this card is. I mean, it's on the field. If you're gonna let it sit there, then you're done. Alright, sure. That's fine, opponent. I mean, we have lethal here with the Planeswalkers, so were you just trying to see what your options were, or... Yeah, I mean... I guess they're thinking they can block with Arboreal Grazer. So, I mean, do we want to do anything? We can draw a card here. Don't really need to. And opponent sees, yeah, opponent sees it. We didn't even need to do anything. Alright, good game, opponent. Alright, guys, we are playing Walkers on Fire in Best of 1 Standard. And yeah, this hand is keepable. One more land and we get to play our Fires of Invention. Our opponent might be in the same boat here. So yeah, let's go. They had this cry first, so they're in a little bit of a better situation here, but that doesn't mean we're in any pain at the moment. We'll play the Sacred Foundry. This way we'll be able to play Teferi next turn. We could also be playing Izzet Burn here. Okay, that is fine, opponent. Alright. They grow the fairy, that's fine, totally fine. So that means Teferi's most likely going to die next turn to a shock or something similar, but that it's okay. We get to bounce this thing back. Oh, Drawn of Dreams. Drawn from Dreams is actually great. So we get to Fire of Invention and Drawn from Dreams? Yeah, that's just perfect. Let's do it, opponent. What do you have? Another Fairy Vandal? Okay, sure, opponent. An opt? Sure, sounds good. I'm really liking where we are right now. So, basically, we get to Fatal Passage here. Thin our deck a bit. We need maybe another white source, perhaps? Or another blue source? No, we have a blue source in hand, so we'll go with the white source. We'll play our Fires of Invention. And, we'll definite Clarion here. Why not? Let's make our opponent think we don't have another board wipe in hand. I have to say, guys, I'm pretty amazed the way this deck just kind of just goes off. It just goes off. So we get to do two things here. First things first, let's draw from dreams. Let's get our Fey Wishes. Let's get another Sarkhan here. We will play our Sarkhan. If our opponent wants to deal with it, that is fine with us. We have a second one. So now they have to deal with our dragon and with our Planeswalker. Sure, their Crackling Drake is getting bigger, but we do have our time wipe in hand, so we're not worried at all about that. Sure, alright, so they're definitely spending their cards on our dragon and our Sarkhan. That's totally fine with us. Alright, opponent. I don't think our opponent actually plays any counters, but if they do have one, alright, they don't. So that is fine. We can get another time wipe. We can get a Fairy should be good. Alright. So play our time wipe here. That it's alright, we're just gonna radical idea, that's fine. Card and concede. Alright, good game, opponent. I mean, this deck is powerful, guys. It's very powerful. I think especially in best of one, people are just not prepared for it. Alright, let's go to the next game. Alright guys, we're playing Walkers on Fire, or Jeskai SuperFriends with Fires of Invention, however you want to call it. This is an interesting hand, but we do have our Fires of Invention in hand. We have a definite Clarion for early creatures, and we have our Drawn from Dreams for good measures here, so we'll keep this. We do go first as well, so not bad at all. So our opponent should know that we're playing Jeskai, because not many decks play these Hollow Fountains. We could be up against the mirror here as well. We'll continue our blue-white lands here. Alright, yeah, we're definitely up against the mirror. So we'll play our Beacon now, and I feel like we should play this Fey Wishes, and if our opponent wants to use Fairy to give it back to us, that's fine. They don't really have any way to remove this, so yeah, I think we do this. So the reason for doing this, guys, is that if our opponent plays Teferi and bounces this back, we can then play our Fires of Invention. Where if they play Teferi and they plus and we play Fire, then we can't really play Fires because they're going to bounce Fires back to our hand. So our opponent now has to think. Alright, they have a Lava Coil, but that is okay. We can live with that. Alright. So we get to Fable Passage now. We get our Mountain. And we play our Fires. So we are a bit ahead on board now. And we can draw on from Dreams right away. This is great. This is pretty good for us, guys. So let's see. I think what we do is we get a land. And we get Sarkhan. He seems like a fair play. So our opponent has a chance to play their Fires of Invention now. Okay. Alright, so they did have the Teferi. They kept it to bounce our Fires. Alright. That is fine, opponent. That means we get to cast it again. And we get to cast our Sarkhan here. Alright. So they're a bit behind in lands. Okay, they found their land here, so... But we are still ahead of lands, just by a bit. So we're not afraid of Fires of Invention coming down right now. This could be another Teferi to bounce our token. Now that's not great because we can give Sarkhan haste and kill that Teferi next turn. We're definitely ahead on board, although these Deafening Clarions are not doing anything for us. Alright, that's great. So what we'll do is... They won't be able to kill Sarkhan. Don't think so. So we'll do this. Definitely want to attack this Teferi. Now, does our opponent play anything? I wonder if this is the Izzet deck and we're not playing a mirror match. Yeah, alright, so they were able to use Lava Coil. That is fine. Still get to kill Teferi. We get to play a land here, and we get to play Kenrith. Alright, we're going to pass a turn. So now our opponent has to deal with our 4/4 and a 5/5 Kenrith. Alright, Teferi, sure. So that's going to bounce our token. Okay, they're bouncing our Kenrith. We're going to let that happen because we rather scry with our Castle Vantress. I think they're looking for lands. Or they were looking for lands. Yep, alright, there's the 5th land. Alright, we're going to go ahead and scry. Alright, we'll keep one Narset. Keep one Narset, that's fine. Alright, so we get to attack Teferi, so our opponent doesn't do any shenanigans during our turn. And we get to Narset. Alright, so I guess we'll take another Fires. Not important here, but okay. Play Kenrith. Pass the turn. Alright, and our opponent concedes. We're definitely ahead on board, so that's what it means. Good game, opponent. Okay, guys, we are playing Walkers and Fires, or Super Friends with Fires of Invention. Alright, this is a keepable hand, I believe. So, we'll do that. And we go first, so let's try to scry into a untapped land. Steam Vents should do the trick. So we're playing against either Rakdos Aristocrats or Mono Black Aristocrats. We can't really play Teferi now, so not sure. This is interesting. I think we sent Teferi down. Don't feel like Teferi is going to do much on this board. So hopefully... Alright, we still don't see a Witch's Oven here, so that's a good sign. Alright, we see a Goose, that's fine. It's a way for our opponent to get their creatures back. Alright, we'll get to Steam Vent here. So our opponent is playing Golgari Aristocrats from the looks of it. Maybe just some Golgari deck with the cats in it for an extra bit of damage. It's interesting that they kept this hand. It's very interesting. Alright, so we're gonna draw from Dreams to try and get a sweeper here. Alright, we do find a couple of sweepers. And we do want... feel like we want another land to be able to play our Sarkhan and everything else, so... we will do that. Pass the turn here. So our opponent doesn't know what we found, so... they could do Assassin's Trophy on our Fires of Invention, but we do have another copy in hand, so that's fine. Alright, so 9-pack Ambusher is just a tiny bit of a problem, but we can somewhat deal with it. We also have our Fae of Wishes that's going to allow us to do a couple of things. So let's see, if we Deafening Clarion, they still have the Ambusher. For some reason, we're really low on life. Alright. Feel like we have to Fae Wishes here and just get something that will get us out of this problem from our sideboard. Yeah, Kaya's Wrath might do the trick here. Alright, so yep, they can get a food, they can get one of their cats back. It's pretty good. Alright, we're still in the game. Alright, Savvy Hunter. Alright, this is fine. We can get rid of Savvy Hunter. And we'll go ahead and play Sarkhan here, see if our opponent has a way to deal with it. We'll gain some life from the interplanar beacons.
Your end has arrived.
Did they draw the land? They did not. And that's game. Good game, opponent. That was all for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and click the bell icon if you want to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Have a good one.